Well, thank you for coming along this morning. Our last class before Christmas. Oh my goodness! So thank you for taking some time in the midst of all the Christmas preparations to come and do some lovely yoga. It's your Christmas present to yourself, isn't it, guys? Today, and this one's kind of inspired by kind of slowing down for Christmas. I think a lot of us, as Andrea said, have kind of reached that kind of saturation point with everything. So it's kind of a nice flowing breath-based class. So it's a nice all over flow today. A little bit of balance, a little bit of stretching, but a real focus on moving with your breath. And it was also the solstice, the winter solstice on Monday. And that was the darkest day. And my mother was convinced that yesterday evening was lighter already. I think you get a minute's extra daylight after Monday. So, that's going to be 5 minutes by Sunday, isn't it? So, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. And the word solstice actually means the sun standing still. And it's celebrated in or marked in lots of different cultures around the world. So we'll take a little bit of time this morning to chill out, to acknowledge that kind of changing of the seasons. This was traditionally the start of winter. That season for slowing things down, a bit more introspective. So we'll kind of harness that energy a little bit this morning. So I'm going to start lying down. So if you want to bring your knees in towards you and have a little rock or roll before you bring yourself into a comfy position, feel free. If you want to pop a pillow under your head or get a blanket if you're in a cooler room this morning, just get yourself nice and comfy. And then just arrange yourself in a nice, comfortable position to begin this morning. That might mean like I've got my feet on the floor and my knees bent. I'm just knocking my knees in together so my feet a little wider than my hips. Or if you want to stretch your legs out, feel free. You can always pop a cushion underneath your knees to release any pressure on your lower back there. So just make any movements you need to make so that you're even more comfortable on the floor there. Happy to be here this morning, happy to have made this time to share a practice together. Our last one before Christmas. So let's enjoy this. So just really tapping into that energy of winter, which is more introspective, a bit more slow, just by bringing your awareness a little bit more inward now onto your breath. Beginning to feel the breath a little bit more fully as it travels in through your nose. Your chest and your belly rising and expanding as you inhale, and then just noticing your body softening back as you exhale. So just take a couple of moments there to allow the breath to settle. If you've had a busy morning or thoughts of what you need to do before the end of the week, just gently breathe them away so you can enjoy your practice unencumbered with all of that this morning. As you begin to settle the breath might begin to slow down a little bit, but don't force it. It might take a little bit of time this morning, especially if you've been busy. So you might end up with a slightly deeper inhalation and a slightly longer exhalation. Just sending messages to your body and to your brain just to begin to soften, to let go this morning. It's making your chest and your belly even softer. And then take your awareness up to your forehead. And just find a nice smoothing sensation, just releasing any signs of thought or concentration this morning, creating a little bit of space between your eyebrows. Softening your eyebrows, softening your temples, your eyelids, your cheeks, softening through the sides of the jaw and the chin, softening the lips, maybe gently parting the teeth, which helps to extend that softening into your mouth. whole face, just feeling soft and spacious this morning. And coming back to your breath, maybe noticing if your breath has changed, maybe it's a little slower. Maybe you're beginning to feel a little bit more calm and settled this morning. Nowhere else to be, nothing else to do, to enjoy your practice this morning, right here, right now. So let's just place one hand on the lower belly, one hand on the chest. The legs can stay as they are. If your legs are stretched and it's becoming uncomfortable, please feel free to bend your knees and just walk your heels closer in towards you. And let's just start to deepen each inhale and exhale. You might add a little bit of sound. You might want to exhale through the mouth. Just feel that each breath is beginning to re-energize, getting you ready for your practice ahead, just swelling the breath into the space beneath your hands. Let's do one more nice big inhale, feeling the chest and the belly rise as you breathe in, and then long exhale, breathing away the week you've had. Let it all go. Lovely. And then just rest the arms down alongside you with the palms up towards the ceiling. Start to wiggle the fingers. And then you can make a fist or keep the fingers nice and spread as you just turn the wrist a few times, just waking up through the hands this morning. And just take that movement around the opposite way. Like I say, you can make a fist or have the hands spread nice and wide. Lovely. And then if your legs are outstretched, just bring your heels back in towards you. And we'll all bring the feet and the knees hip width apart and bring the knees in towards the chest, one hand on each knee. Let's just take a few circles with the legs there. So the hands just steering the knees round, a little bit of massage and release the lower back and the buttocks there. We'll take the knees round in the opposite direction. And then bringing the feet to the floor, about hip width apart and the arms down alongside you with the palms down this time. Let's take a nice deep inhale and float the arms all the way back above the head, spreading the fingers nice and wide. Let's get going. And as you exhale, let's bring the arms all the way down alongside you. So let's keep moving with the rhythm of your breath this morning. You need to widen your arms into a nice wide V shape there. Feel free. Lovely. So we're inhaling to float the arms all the way up and back, upper arms alongside the ears or in that lovely spacious V. The shoulders feel tight. And the exhale brings the hands all the way back down. Let's do one more of those. Just feeling that each breath is bringing a little bit more energy into the body this morning, especially if you're feeling a little bit deflated, a little bit flat. Lovely. Hands landing down alongside you. Let's walk the heels, again, just making sure that they're close in behind your sit bones there. Pressing down through the base of the big toe. We'll start to lift the hips, coming into a little baby shoulder bridge. So just ripple up maybe about halfway. And then we'll ripple all the way back down. So we're going to do that twice more, again with the breath. So inhaling, pushing the hips up. You might start to come up a little bit higher, trying to keep the knees from rolling out to the side by pressing down through all 10 toes, especially the base of the big toe. Lovely. We're going to do 3 more of those, maybe adding that arm movement. So this time as you inhale and come into your shoulder bridge, you can extend the arms all the way back alongside the ears. And then as you exhale, lowering the hips, lowering the hands, rippling down, creating that sense of space through the back of the body. Twice more. So if it's uncomfortable or it's a little bit too much too soon, you just want to continue with that shoulder bridge or rest the body on the floor, just move the arms, feel free. We'll do just once more. So again, making sure the knees stay parallel as you open and expand the body. And then we'll bring the hands, bring the hips back down to the floor. Once more, bring the knees in towards the chest. This time we're going to squeeze the knees in and down, feeling a little stretch through the lower back. You can stay there just enjoying that little stretch through the back, or lifting your head, lifting your shoulders, coming into a little ball, but make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. Lovely. Lower the head, lower the shoulders. Keep the knees where they are. Reach the arms back behind you once again. And this time we'll take the legs up towards the ceiling. Flexing the feet, spread the fingers so we're in that lovely, almost like a staff position if we were sitting on the floor. Lovely. And then bringing the feet to the floor, and the arms down alongside you, back to where we started. We're going to add all of that together with the breath. So as we inhale, lift the hips, reach the arms all the way back behind you. And then as you exhale, you slowly lower them down, hips and hands reaching the floor at the same time. Inhaling, bringing the knees to your chest. And as you exhale, shoulders away from ears, nose towards your knee, coming into that little ball. Inhaling, lower the head, lower the shoulders, extend the legs up and the arms back, flexing the feet. And then as you exhale, coming back to the start position, feet just in line with the bottom and the hands down alongside you. And again, inhaling, little shoulder bridge, arms floating all the way up and back. Exhaling, lengthening your hips to your heels as you come all the way back down to the mat. Knees to chest as you inhale. And exhaling, lifting up into that little ball, slide the shoulders away from the ears. Inhaling, lowering the head, lowering the shoulders. Arms and legs extend, flex the feet, spread the fingers. And exhale, coming all the way back down, feet to floor, arms alongside you. Let's do that once more. So if you're moving faster or slower than me, that's fine. Just enjoy the journey, enjoy that rhythm of your breath. Lovely. Knees coming to chest as you breathe in. You can stay there or exhale into that little ball, stretching out through the top of the spine, lowering the head, lowering the shoulders. Last time to expand the legs up and the arms back. And exhaling, feet to floor, arms down alongside you. We're going to meet there. Pausing, turning the palms up and just bring the arms up level with the shoulders there. So we'll reach the fingertips apart, coming into a little twist, dropping the knees over to the right side, dropping the weight into that left shoulder blade. We'll pause there, relaxing that underneath buttock. And we can stay there with the feet and the knees gently parted, or stack the knees and the ankles on top of each other. And if your back feels okay and you want a little bit more, you can bring the knees closer towards your chest, but try to keep that connection through the left shoulder blade. So closer the knees are towards the chest, the kind of more deeply you'll feel that twist. So just go easy. You might even turn your head in the opposite direction to your knees if that feels nice on your neck this morning. Or wringing things out. Lovely. And then let's come all the way back to center. So the feet are on the floor, hip width apart. Knees point up towards the ceiling, and then we'll tip the knees over to the left. Keeping the feet and the knees apart initially as you just settle into that right shoulder blade. And again, you might want to stay there, relaxing the left buttock, or bring your knees and your ankles on top of each other. And maybe bring the knees up a little closer towards your chest there. Oops, someone's trying to get in. Sorry, guys. So remember, the closer your knees are towards your chest. Sorry, guys, if you've just joined us, we're just in a little twist. So just come to seated if you've just joined us. That's where we're heading. Lovely. If you're in that little twist with me, let's roll onto our backs, bringing the knees in towards our chest. One hand on each knee, cross the ankles, and have a little circle there. Taking the knees round in one direction. And then cross the ankles the opposite way. Take the knees round the opposite way. Now we're going to come up to seated, so you can roll to one side or catch hold behind your knees and whoop, playfully roll up. Sorry to keep you waiting. I don't know who you are because it says Galaxy, so you're not a chocolate bar, I know. I'm assuming that's your internet provider. So I'm going to sit with my right shin in front of my left shin. But if you want to extend the legs out in front of you, feel free. Lovely. Or pop a cushion under your bottom. Hands coming to heart, so you can sit up nice and tall. And think about bringing your breastbone to meet your thumbs, but drop the shoulders away from the ears. Lovely. As you inhale, let's arrow the arms all the way up. And exhale, very gently, just bring the fingertips down to the floor alongside you. Softness in the elbows. Turning the palms up, inhaling, lift the arms. Exhaling, hands to heart. And we'll interlace the hands, press the palms forwards and round the back. So kind of rock to the back of your sit bones there, so you get a hollow out through the belly. Lovely, hands coming to heart. All the way up as you breathe in, really lift out to the hips. Exhale, a little softness as you just drift the fingertips to the floor. All the way back up, so palms lead the way. Hands to heart, breastbone meeting thumbs. And again, we'll interlace, push the palms forwards and drop your chin. Oh, that's nice. Last one, all the way up. So grow as tall as you can with that inhale. And then just very gently release the arms down. Lovely. It's like a corkscrew, isn't it? As the shoulders come down. Crown of the head lengthens up. Lovely. Hands coming to heart. And last time, we'll push the palms forwards. Chin coming to chest. Beautiful. Hands coming to heart. Let's take the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Separating them shoulder width. Take an inhale. Let's take a little twist as we exhale to the right. One hand in front and the other behind. Straight back with that inhale. So we'll move with the breath back to center and over to the left. Lovely. Let's do one more each way. So if your hand in front doesn't quite reach the floor, you can just bring it to rest on your shin or your foot. Lovely. Last time over to the left, so a nice turning of the chest, nice long open back body. Inhale, reach the arms up. This time as we exhale, just allow your fingers to find the floor in front of you. I'm just going to walk my hips back a little bit and then take the arms forwards, coming into a little forward fold this morning. You might feel it around that right hip if you've got your right shin in front there. So try and keep your sit bones connected to the floor. So it might only be a little way that you drop down. Some of us more open in the hips, you might be coming down a little bit further. Lovely. Warming up through the hips, walking the hands back. We'll bring the hands behind you, fingertips pointing forwards or slightly out to the side. And we'll lift the chest, slide the shoulders down the back. Lovely, opening up through the chest this morning. And then just drop the chin, but lean into your hands so you can recross your legs the opposite way. So this time I've got left in front and right, if you were working with me. Lovely. Let's bring the hands to the heart. Inhale, take the arms up. And this time as you exhale, a bit more energy with the arms. So flex the wrist, so you're pushing the side walls away. Inhale as you bring the arms up. Maybe the little finger edge of the hand leading the way. Exhale, hands to heart, interlace, round the back, push the palms forwards, follow out through the belly. And again, arms coming up through the center, inhale. And really push those side walls away from you as you bring the fingertips to the floor. Lovely, all the way up as you inhale. Hands coming to heart, exhale, ready for that rounding. So just once more, pushing the palms away from you. Last time, all the way up. So hopefully feeling a little bit more energized now as you just bring the arms down, fingertip barely touch the floor, and we're back up towards the ceiling. Back down to the heart. And last time, that lovely C shape through the back body. So bring your belly button towards your spine. Lovely. We'll bring the hands to the heart, sitting up nice and tall. Arms lift all the way up, just taking them shoulder width apart. Take an inhale. Let's take a side stretch to the right this time. So right hand coming down, left arm overhead. Lovely. Inhale through center. And exhale all the way over to the other side. So it's not tip top, side to side, but try not to rock on your sitting bones. So you're keeping nice and stable through your sit bones. Lovely. So this time we'll bring both arms up as you inhale. Try and keep that length through the side body as you bring your fingers to the floor in front of you. And again, we'll take that little walk forwards. So this time I can really feel it with that, around that hip of the leg that's in front. So with that left shin, left hip that you'll feel if you've got your left shin in front of you. So trying to keep grounded through the sit bones. Again, when your bottom lifts, you kind of lost the anchor point for that stretch. Lovely. Hands walking back, lifting up through the spine, fingertips just behind you, pointing forwards or slightly out to the side. Press into the floor, lift the chest, maybe lift the chin, so we'll squeeze the shoulder blades together. Beautiful. And then chin dropping to chest. We're going to find our way to all fours, so you can roll over your ankles this morning. You can tuck your feet to one side, but come and find your way onto all fours with your hands under your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips there. So pressing gently into your hands, making sure you're not collapsing in the shoulder blades there. Let's continue to move with the breath with that lovely cat-cow. So as we inhale, keep pressing into the hands as you pull the heart forward, dip the belly, take the tailbone up. And then exhale, angry cat as you round up through the upper back. Lovely. And again, just really move with your breath there. Enjoy just moving fluidly with your natural breath. So again, it might be faster or slower than the rest of us. One of the beauties of working from our own spaces and we're not necessarily worried about the people around us seemingly moving faster or slower, we can really work at our own breath and our own pace. So let's just do once more, working into the back and the front seams of the body there. So I'm going to do one last lovely cat stretch. Inhale into a nice flat back this morning. And as you exhale, let's come into a little child pose, sliding your hips to your heels. Just walk the arms forwards, and if you're feeling a little bit pre-Christmassy and a bit fatigued, you can just rest the arms on the floor, palms and elbows just resting down. If you want a little bit more, just lift up onto your fingertips. So the palms and the elbows are lifted, and we're gently pressing the fingers forwards and down, so you're feeling a little bit more energy through the back and the sides of the body as your hips hug back towards your heels there. Lovely. So we're going to come back to that little cat-cow, but we're going to move with the breath. So bringing the palms to the floor. As you inhale, we'll come back onto all fours with a little arching of the back, heart pulling forwards. And as you exhale, we'll come into that cat pose, but slide your hips to your heels. So inhaling, coming onto all fours, little arching of the back. Exhaling, angry cat, sitting back towards your heels. Let's do once more, then we're going to add on another level. Lovely. So we'll all meet in that child pose, hips gliding back towards your heels. And this time we'll come onto all fours and reach that right arm forwards. Turn the palm away from you. Big circle all the way up and back. And then come back down into that child pose as you reach the arm back behind you. As you inhale, reach that right arm forwards and up. Nice big circle as you exhale, reaching that arm back behind you, hips to heels. Lovely. Let's do that twice more. So you tray your fingertips forwards on your mat. It's called a swimming cat. I can't testify as to whether cats do swim like this, but so inhale, big circle, palm away from you, just opens up through the shoulder a little bit more. So this time, let's take that nice inhale and take that right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. So turn the chest to the right. And as you exhale, let's thread the needle. So feed that right arm underneath, just coming onto the top of the shoulder, the side of the head there. Just bring the weight forwards. Lovely. So you're nice and comfortable on the side of the head. And then this left hand, just move away from your face, elbow points up towards the ceiling. You can keep it there, or that left hand is going to take hold of the long edge of your mat. So I'm taking my left arm forwards, holding onto the edge of my mat, and I'm pulling the mat away from my face and leaning into that right shoulder. So pull that mat away and out to the left. That's a little bit confusing, then just keep the hand on the floor. Lovely. If you're pulling your mat away from you, just release that so you can bring that left hand just by your face. Push into that hand. Let's take the right arm all the way up, back into that lovely stretch through the chest, and both hands come down to the floor. Inhale into that little arching of the back. Exhaling all the way back into that child pose. We'll try that on the other side. So left arm reaching forwards as you come onto all fours. Big circle back through that left arm as you bring your hips to your heels. So as we inhale, we trail the fingertips along the mat. Big circle of the arm all the way back behind you. Lovely. We'll do that twice more. So you can keep a softness in the elbow. It's a little bit tight on the shoulder this morning. But we'll do one more big circle. So the arm reaches forwards and up, and exhaling all the way back and down as you come into child pose. So this time as we inhale, let's take that arm up. So left arm up, turning to the left. Take a nice breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to feed that left arm underneath the right, coming into our little thread needle. So take a moment there just to shift the weight forward so you're right on the side of the head, the top of the shoulder. Then you might just move that right hand away from the face, elbow points up towards the ceiling. Or that right hand, I'm straightening the arm, taking hold of almost the top corner of my mat. And then I pull the mat away from my face and lean my body weight a little bit more into that left shoulder. So I can feel a little bit more stretch across my upper back. If that's not for you, hand stays just on the floor alongside the face. A little bit more openness through the shoulders there. Lovely. If you're tugging your mat, let's bring that right hand alongside the face. Push into the hand, and as you inhale, let's take that left arm all the way up. And as you exhale, bring both hands down onto the shoulders. Inhaling, arch the back. Exhaling, coming into that child pose. And just walk the arms forward so the arms are really outstretched in front of you. Inhaling onto all fours. And this time as you exhale, bring your weight forwards and down between your arms, elbows hug in. Inhaling into a little cobra and exhaling, pushing up and back into that child pose. We'll do that twice more. Little moving flow. Inhale. Exhale, stretching your hips to your hands as you come all the way down. Lovely. Lifting the chest as you inhale. All the way back into that child pose, arms nice and long, lovely. Just once more, inhale. We look forwards as you ease the body forwards and down, beautiful. Last one, all the way up. And we'll meet back in that child pose, beautiful. So if you want to stay in child pose, if you want to work from all fours today, feel free. If you're ready for a downward dog, we'll find our way back onto all fours, sliding the hands back underneath the shoulders. We'll tuck the toes under, take your gaze forwards to the top of the mat and just pick up your knees. I'm wearing black leggings so you can't really see my knees. There we go. So I'm going to hover my knees just an inch or so off the floor. Firm up through the belly, power into the hands, and then we'll push the hips up and back into a downward facing dog. Lovely. So as you inhale, drop to that little hover, knees hover, and exhale, hips push all the way up and back. We'll do that once more. If it's too much, you can stay in downward dog or even bring the knees all the way down to the floor. If not, they're hovering. Beautiful. Let's all meet in that downward dog this morning. And we'll have that little pedal out from foot to foot, little squidgy walk there, bending one knee and then the other. Maybe a little shake of the head, a little movement in the hips. Just keep it nice and loose this morning. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the feet and the ankles together and just see if you can push your hips up and back a little bit more so you're getting a nice length through each side of the body, a nice long back. And shifting the weight into that left foot, let's take the right leg all the way up, turning the toes out ever so slightly, and then slowly, slowly bring that foot down to the floor. Other side, so without shifting the weight across your arms, left leg lifting. And then let's lower the feet together. So right leg lifting, we'll keep it lifted, come onto the ball of that left foot, and then step or spring that right foot forwards. Woo, and drop the back knee. Lovely. You can flatten that back foot, you can keep it tucked under, choice is yours. Let's move with the breath. Inhale, arms lift all the way up the front. And exhale, fingertips find the floor. Inhale, start to move the hips up and back. And as you exhale into that little hamstring stretch, you can pull the toes towards your face or keep the knee bent and foot to the floor. Inhale as you sweep the arms up, so we're dropping into that left hip. Exhale as you bring your hands to the floor. Inhale, start to move the hips. Exhale into that little half monkey, hips go back, chest stays forwards. Once more. So inhale, we lift the chest, a little bit of stretch through the left hip. Exhale, float the fingertips down. Inhale, start to move the hips. And as you exhale, we'll meet in that hamstring stretch. So if you want to keep your knee bent and foot to the floor, feel free. Or you can slide that foot forwards and begin to pull the toes towards your face. Just make sure your hips haven't swung over to the left. Square them up to the middle of the mat. Ooh, hello hamstrings. And if you want a little bit more this morning, this right hand cups your right toes and just gently brings the toes towards your face. Ooh, that livens things up this morning, doesn't it? If you're holding your foot, let's bring the fingertips to the floor, bend the front knee, and we'll come back into that lunge. Inhale as you sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, right hand reaches down, left arm reaches over, a little side bend. Inhale through center. Exhale over to the other side. So it doesn't matter if you Did the other arm first. We balance things out there. Lovely. Inhale, reaching up nice and tall. And as you exhale, let's bring the hands down to frame that front foot. So we're going to come into a twist. So option to keep the back knee down or lift the back knee as we take that right arm up. So we're turning towards your front knee. And some of you might be able to reach that top arm back a little ways. Beautiful. Let's bring both hands down to frame the foot. And we'll step back into a downward facing dog. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, come back down onto hands and knees. Inhale as you lift the chest. Exhaling, sliding hips back to heels. You can stay there or come with me into that little moving sequence. Inhaling onto all fours. Exhaling, lowering the chest down between your arms. Little cobra as you inhale, lift the chest. And as you exhale, let's come all the way up and back into a downward facing dog. Little walk, little shake of the head. You can stay on all fours if you want. And then as you bring your big toes and your ankles together, let's try that on the other leg. So it's the left leg lifting this time. And really see if you can come onto the ball of the underneath foot. So if you can get a bit more height there. Take an inhale, exhale, step, spring, or help that left foot forwards, and we'll drop the back knee. Beautiful. You ready for that little flow with our hamstrings and hips? So inhaling, reaching up. And as we exhale, fingertips to floor. Inhale, start to lift the hips. And exhaling, hips drawing back. So that front knee might stay bent. It might start to straighten. Bend the knee. Inhale. So we drop that right hip forwards and down. Exhale as you find the floor. That's it. Beautiful. Inhale, start to move the hips. Exhale, stretching out that hamstring. One more time. Ooh, one side might feel a little bit stiffer this morning. Hamstrings can tighten up very quickly. So let's say hello to our left hamstring. So again, you might have the front leg straight and the toes pulling towards your face. You might want to keep the foot on the floor and that knee bent. So make sure your bottom hasn't swung over to the right. Square those hips up. And maybe with your left hand, cup the toes and draw the toes towards your face. And you might feel that a little bit more strongly in your hamstring. I know I do. Joe Wicks, what are you doing to me? My hamstrings are shrinking. Oh my goodness. Oh, let's release the foot. Planting the foot down, bend the front knee, inhaling back into that lunge, lifting up nice and tall. Exhale, left arm reaches down, right arm reaches over. Don't worry if you've gone the other way, because as you inhale, we're reaching up nice and tall. And exhaling, coming over to the other side. So it really doesn't matter. Inhaling, lifting up last time, and exhaling, and plant the hands. Ready for that twist, so you can pick up the back knee if you want. Just keep the hips nice and low as you take the left arm up, so you're turning towards the front knee. Just draw that left hip down and back. Oh my goodness, I can hear the rain, guys. Bring both hands down and we'll step back into a downward dog. Now you can come down onto all fours and do that little moving sequence, or if you want a little bit more energy, as you inhale, come forwards to plank. And as you exhale, bring yourself down to the mat. Your knees might come down first. Flatten the feet, lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And let's take a little walk from your feet towards your hands, so we'll end up in a forward fold at the top of the mat. And we'll generously bend the knees this morning, cradle the elbows, and maybe have a little rock from side to side. If you don't want to be in a forward fold this morning, just lift your chest, bring your hands just above your knees, so you can support the lower back and blood pressure can return to normal. Lovely. Beautiful. If you're in that forward fold with me, just letting go of your elbows so the arms can dangle. Soften the knees and slowly, slowly roll your way up. Let's keep the gaze nice and low. And just let blood pressure adjust. And then let's take a deep knee bend. And as you inhale, sweep the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. I'm just going to adjust the camera. And as you exhale, bring the hands down to the heart. Lovely. Let's do that again. So nice deep knee bend. Inhale. And exhale, hands to heart, breastbone meeting thumbs. Just once more. Inhale. You have to adjust that camera so you can see me. Exhale, hands to heart. And then just bring the hands to the hips. I'm going to come into a little warrior two sequence. So just making sure you've got some mat behind you. I'll come and mirror you. I'm going to step my right leg back and just turn that right foot in, coming into our warrior two. So if you need to turn yourself around on your mat, I'm taking my right leg back behind me, and then we'll arrow the arms out. So I've got my left foot pointing forwards, right foot pointing to the long edge of my mat. Lovely. Let's lift the shoulders and then roll them down the back. So you've got a nice long neck and a broad chest. Now reach forwards and bringing left forearm to thigh, right arm arcs all the way up and over. Nice long line. I'm going to sweep that right arm in front of the face as we reverse our warrior. So left arm lifting this time all the way up and back. Bending that left elbow, arm sweeps in front of the face, forearm to thigh, right arm all the way up and over. Bending the elbow, right arm sweeps in front of the face, left arm all the way up and back. Lovely. So that left arm will bend the elbow, sweep in front of the face, and we'll all meet in that side angle, reaching that right arm alongside the ear with the palm down. Sink into the hips, beautiful. And then as you look down, just bring your left hand onto your shin or your thigh. Begin to straighten the leg. We'll take that right arm all the way up towards the ceiling, coming into triangle. So you're pushing your hips to the right very gently. You can keep the gaze down towards your big toe, or slowly roll the gaze up towards the ceiling. Lovely. Now your hand might be on your thigh, it might be on your shin. If you want a little bit more strength for the obliques, bring the back of that left hand to the inside of your shin or your thigh, rather than resting on your leg. Beautiful. I'm going to come all the way back up through center. Bring your hips to center and we'll sweep that left arm up and back. Reverse your triangle. Beautiful. We'll reach both arms up towards the ceiling. Turn all 10 toes forwards towards me. And bring the hands to the heart, turning the toes out, the heels in, and bending the knees. So we're in goddess or horse pose. If you need to slightly shorten your stance, feel free. Just make sure you're not pitching your body forwards there, that your shoulders are above your hips. As you inhale, we're going to arrow the arms up as you straighten the legs. Exhale, bend the knees, and we'll cactus the arms, so elbows drawing down. Lovely. Inhaling, straightening legs, arrow the arms up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Bending the knees, lovely. And again, so keep the knees squeezed out towards the little toes. I might invest in a better camera if we go into another lockdown, guys, so I don't cut off my arms every time. Inhaling up. Exhaling, hands coming to heart as we sink deep into those legs. Lovely. Once more, so strong in the legs. A little bit of grounding this morning. Exhale as you cactus, particularly if, like me, you felt a little bit like you're living in your head at the moment. All of that stuff that's been going on. Lovely. So hands coming to heart. Keeping the knees bent, we'll bring the hands onto your thighs, fingertips pointing inwards. Lovely. So we're going to tip that right shoulder forwards and look to the left, gently pushing that thigh away. Nice stretch for the upper back. We'll come back to center. We'll tip the left shoulder forwards and look to the right. Inhale through center. Exhaling, right shoulder dips. We look to the left. Inhale through center. And exhaling over to the other side. Lovely. Let's come all the way back through center. Bringing the hands to the heart, straightening the legs as you arrow the arms up. And then we'll come into our warrior two on the other side. So turning that left heel in and turning the right foot out. So we're facing the opposite side of the mat there, just to keep it nice and simple there. Big shoulder rolls, so gather them up and then slide the shoulders down and away from the ears. Lovely. We'll reach forwards and then right forearm to thigh. Left arm reaches up alongside the ear. We bend the elbow, sweep that arm in front of the face, and then right arm arcs up and back, so I'm staying low in the legs. Right arm sweeps in front of the face, forearm to thigh. Top arm all the way up and over, lovely. And then left arm, bend the elbow, sweep the arm in front of the face as we take that right arm all the way up, lovely. Last time, big sweep across the face, so we'll all meet in that lovely side stretch. So ear towards upper arm, beautiful. Then we'll look down, bringing that right hand to your shin or your thigh as you straighten the leg and take that left arm all the way up towards the ceiling into triangle. So we push the hips a little bit towards the wall behind you, towards the left. You can keep the gaze down, that might be easier on your neck, or slowly take the gaze up. And if you do look up, you can just check that you've got your wrist, your elbow and your shoulder in a straight line and not reaching forwards or dropping back. Lovely. And then again, if you want to work the underside of the body, the obliques, you bring the back of that right hand to the inside of your shin or your thigh. Lovely, so you're really working on those obliques to hold you there. Lovely, let's come all the way back through center, swing the hips to the middle and reverse the arms, right arm reaching back. Beautiful, both arms lift as you turn all 10 toes forwards. Hands to heart as you bring the heels in, turn the toes out, back into that little goddess, lovely. Inhaling, take the arms up. Exhaling, bend the knees, maybe come down a little deeper as you come into that cactus. Ooh, strong in the legs. Inhale, nice and grounding. Exhaling, hands to heart, lovely. Let's do that twice more. Beautiful. So elbows stay kind of roughly level with your shoulders as you come down into that little cactus. So we're strong through the hands, so the fingers stay nice and wide. Love it. So just once more. It's like you're doing that rugby dance at the haka. You don't have to poke your tongue out though. You can if you want. You're in a room on your own. We can do what I like. Let's bend the knees, bring the hands to the heart, and then once more, we'll bring the hands to the thighs. So fingertips are pointing inwards. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, dip that right shoulder down, and we look to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, changing sides. So you're gently pushing the thigh away from you as you tip the shoulder forwards. Inhale. Exhale. It stopped raining, guys. We're okay. By the time we finish yoga, the sun will be out. Inhale. I promise. Exhale. Lovely. Let's come all the way back through center. Let's bring the hands to the heart. Inhale as you straighten the legs. Take the arms up, turn the toes forwards. And this time as you exhale, let's come down into a lovely forward fold. So you can bend your knees. You can bring your hands onto your thighs and bend your knees if that's a little bit too much to find the floor this morning. We'll reach one arm forwards and then the other arm. And then drop the weight back into your heels. Opening up the armpits to the floor. So you're getting a lovely stretch out through the back of the body and the side of the body. Beautiful. And then we'll walk the hands back just underneath the shoulders. Just lift up onto your fingertips so your chest is lifted. And then we'll toe, heel your feet until they're hip width apart. Soften the knees and roll your way up to stand. Take your time so again you don't get that horrible head rush. Beautiful. So feet and knees, hip width apart. Let's bring the hands to the heart. Take a couple of steadying breaths. So we're going to do a little bit of balance. I'm on a wonky floorboard. That's not going to be good for balance, is it? So I'm going to bring that right foot into a tree pose this morning. So you might just want to flick your heel to rest on the top of the foot. Use your shin as a kickstand, or just bring that foot up a little bit higher to your shin or to your inner thigh. If you've got it on your inner thigh, make sure you've not pushed your hips out to the left. Think about growing really tall here. So pull up through the crown of the head. And then slowly, as you inhale, let's take the arms up. And as you exhale, bringing them all the way back down to the heart. So a little balance challenge for us this morning. Last one before Christmas. So we're going to reach the arms out level with the shoulders. And see if you can bring that right knee to your right hand. Lift up nice and tall. Beautiful. Oh, that's it, we got it. And then we're going to step that right foot behind the left. Left hand to left hip. Soften that front knee and take the right arm all the way up and over. So you're pushing your hips gently to the right. So we're getting a lovely side stretch. Beautiful. Arms come out level with the shoulders. We're going to come back the way we came. Can we do it? Of course we can. So right knee to right hand. Can we do it? Woo! Can we find our way back into tree pose? Hands to heart. I'm wobbling, I'm wobbling. Inhale as you take the arms up. Exhale, big circle back to the heart. Beautiful. Let's bring the foot down and have a little walk from side to side. Well done, guys. I thought I was going to wobble then. I can feel this wobbly floorboard. That's my excuse anyway. I've got a wobbly floorboard. So let's find that left foot into tree pose. So if, like me, you're on a wobbly floorboard and you want to use your foot as a kickstand, feel free. Or if you want to venture up into that more unstable tree, feel free, squeezing that left knee out to the left. If you want to just stay there and focus on balance, feel free, or take a nice inhale as you take the arms up. Just move really slowly. And exhale, we'll bring the hands all the way back to the heart. Beautiful. So if you want to use your hand on a piece of furniture, feel free, use that right hand to help balance this morning. We'll take the arms out level with the shoulders. Ready for that little challenge. So can you bring your left knee to your left hand? So think about pulling up through the crown of the head. Beautiful. That's it. That's it. Well done. And then left foot steps behind right foot. So this time, right hand to hip. We bend the front knee a little bit and take that left arm overhead. So you're pushing your hips to the left this morning. Lovely. Arms come back out level with the shoulders. Can we come back the way we came? So we'll take that left knee to left hand. Lift up nice and tall. Beautiful balance, guys. Find your way back into tree. Christmas tree. Hands to heart. Twinkle, twinkle. Take that lovely circle of the arms. Inhaling up. Woo. Exhaling, bringing them back down to the heart. You got this. Well done. Beautiful. And then softly down the foot. Give the legs a little shake. Brilliant. You've been exposed to my knobbly knees all class. I'll hide them now. I'm so sorry. The shame. So bringing yourself to the top of the mat, making sure you've got the mat behind you. Let's bring the hands back to the heart, lifting up nice and tall. Let's bend the knees, sweep the arms all the way up as you inhale. And this time as you exhale, heart draws forwards and down, coming into a lovely forward fold. Hands finding your shins or your thighs, so you can lift up halfway as you inhale. And as you exhale, take 2 big steps back into your downward facing dog. We're going to come into a pigeon pose. So by all means, drop down onto all fours. You can take a reclined pigeon. You're going to come in with me. We'll take the right leg all the way up and back. Lovely. Bend the knee. And we'll do 3 big circles with that right knee. Knee to chest. Open it up out to the side. And then again, so 3 big circles. So we're just warming up that hip, ready for a little pigeon pose this morning. So last circle, and then we'll extend that leg all the way back behind you, and then knee to chest, right knee just behind right wrist, shin diagonally placed across the mat, and we slide that left leg back behind you, flattening the foot. So remember, if this version of pigeon isn't for you, you lean into that right bottom and just bend both knees. So take a moment to get nice and comfortable there. You might want to stay on your hands and the chest quite lifted, or very gently walk the hands forwards, maybe dropping down onto your forearms, maybe taking the arms straight out in front of you, or a little halfway house, bending the elbows and resting your forehead on your hands. So I always feel as I get into pigeon, I need to make those kind of little adjustments as my body begins to soften into that shape. So you might need to wiggle that right heel into a comfortable position so it's not digging into your hip or your groin. You might want to lift the back knee. Just let's have a little wiggle of the leg back before you lower the knee and flatten the foot, so you've opened up some more space in the top of that left hip. You might want to do none of the above and simply chill out in pigeon. Should we call this one turkey? If we're doing a Christmassy type one. Pigeons or turkeys? Easy with the breath there. Just breathing into wherever you feel you're holding any tension. I can feel I'm really gripping in that right hip this morning. So I'm just going to see if I can just begin to let it go. A little bit of yin, chill time before we come to the floor in Shavasana. So when you're ready, slowly walking your hands back towards you. You can just switch legs, swishing the legs out in front of you and changing sides, or tuck the back foot under, lift the knee, push into the hands and come back into that downward facing dog. And you always feel I've got to move a little bit after that static pose. So a little bit of squidgy walking, and then we'll take the left leg up and back, bending the knee. So we'll do those 3 circles initially. Nice big circles, moving into the hip, almost kind of getting that joint ready for action. And when you've done that 3rd circle, we take the leg back behind you and then bring the knee to the chest, sliding that knee just down behind your left wrist or thumb. So the shin is diagonally placed. We slide that right leg back. And again, you can lean into the left bottom and just bend both knees quite generously. Or back leg is straight, so the hips are square to the top of the mat. So again, make those little adjustments, the movement of that left heel out of your groin or your hip. And again, you can surrender down onto your forearms, extend the arms, make that little pillow for your head, or stay up on your hands this morning. That's it. So wherever you are, take a moment to allow the body to just make those little adjustments to accommodate that shape. It's a strong pose, pigeon. And I can already feel that this side feels less tight, less stiff, which is a note to self, the way I cross my legs, the way I move, that maybe that right side is taking a bit of a hammering at the moment. I need to do more to stretch it out. So you too might be getting those same little reminders from your body to balance things out, especially if you're sitting at a desk, crossing your legs invariably the same way. I do it. I know I do. I'm no paragon of virtue by any means. It's when we slow down and do these lovely yoga stretches that we can kind of tune into what the body's desperately trying to tell us. Lovely. So let's slowly just begin to lift ourselves up onto our hands. If you were down on your forearms or have the arms outstretched. And all we'll do is simply lean into that left buttock. So you can sweep the right leg out in front of you and then bring the left leg to join it. So give the legs a little shake, a little bend in the knee. Maybe just slide your buttocks away from your sit bones there. Sitting up nice and tall, let's inhale, float the arms up. And as you exhale, let's come down into a forward fold this morning. So you might wrap your hands around your feet. You might just land your hands just alongside your shins or your thighs. Just take a moment to surrender to gravity there. So allow the body just to yield forwards, no forcing or bouncing. Make those knees as soft as you need to. Beautiful. And we'll walk the hands back, up the legs. Just bend your knees and bring your feet just close in towards your bottom. So you can carefully ease your way back down to lie on your backs, bringing your knees with you. And you might, after that little pigeon pose, just want a little rock across your back. Lovely. And then we'll keep the knees in towards the chest, unless your back feels really tight this morning, in which case just bring your feet to the floor and keep the knees hip width apart. As you keep the knees in towards the chest, as we bring the arms out level with the shoulders, sometimes the knees drop away from us a little bit. So see if you can keep them scooped in towards your chest, and we'll bring both knees over to the right hand side. So remembering what we did at the beginning, so the closer the knees are towards your chest, the higher up the spine and the deeper the twist you're going to experience. So you can slide the knees away from you. You can separate your knees and your ankles rather than having them stacked on top of each other. So making what adjustments you need, keeping the chest more or less flush to the ceiling there. Maybe rolling your chin towards your left shoulder if that feels nice. You can stay there this morning just enjoying that final rinse out through the spine, or you can straighten the top leg, keeping the knees more or less together, and that right hand might rest on your thigh, your shin, or it might catch your foot. And then press that top hip away from you, so lengthen the hip away from the lower ribs. Underneath waist lifts a little bit. That's too much this morning, then simply bend both knees. Lovely. And then we'll let go of the foot. Let's bring the knees and the ankles back together. Use an inhale to come back onto your back, bringing your knees with you. And as you exhale, let's tip the knees over to the left. So this time it's that right shoulder blade we're dropping a little bit of extra weight into. Adjust the position of your knees, your feet, so you can just gently let them come to the floor. You can always pop a jumper or a cushion underneath knee if the knees don't quite reach the floor there. You can stay there this morning. I'm going to have to scoot over a little bit so I've got space. Or you can extend the top leg, so right leg extended. My knees are again more or less together. Left hand finding your shin, your thigh, or your foot. And then that top hip, you press away from you. So you feel a little lifting of your underneath waist, or I certainly did there. Oh no, I can hear the rain. No, I promised you sunshine. I can't fail. Oh no, the pressure. Oh, dear, oh dear. And very slowly, if you're holding that foot or the leg, let's let go of that so we can bend both knees, bringing the knees and the ankles together. Big breath in again to roll onto our backs, knees to chest. And again, with one hand on each knee, you might want a little massage, a little circle. You might want to bring your feet to the floor and just open up into a lovely full body stretch for a moment. So do whatever you need to do just to release from that twist. And then you might want to pop something warm on as you find your way back into a comfortable position, lying down on your back. If any of you have got to shoot off, have a very happy Christmas, whatever you're doing. And thank you, as ever, for coming along this morning. You've got a little bit of time just to finish the practice with a little bit of you time before we step back onto that hamster wheel of madness. Feel free to bring yourself into that comfortable position, lying outstretched or with your knees bent and the feet on the floor. Or even come to seated. And again, that energy of winter, that introspective slowing down. Bringing your awareness more inward now, awareness to your breath. Observing how the breath after the movement might begin to settle, become a little bit slower, a little bit fuller. And just begin to observe the movement of the breath in the body this morning. The rise and fall of your chest, the broadening and softening the back of the rib cage, the expansion, and then the release of your tummy and your waist. All of those involuntary responses our body has to each inhale when we receive the breath and each exhale as we release the breath. And when you closely observe your breath, you might just begin to feel or notice the more subtle responses of your body. Softening of your eyes and your jaw. The release of your fingers. And a relaxation of your face. Feel the softening on the exhale. Just allowing yourself to hand yourself over to the support, the floor beneath you more completely. Broadening of the back body, connecting you with the mat, the floor beneath you a little bit more fully. Being present in your breath, present in your body. Just take a moment now to give that breath the permission to move as far and as deep into the body as feels comfortable this morning. Allowing it to expand and explore into all those hidden spaces. When you're ready to just face the rest of the day, the rest of the week, hopefully feeling a little bit more energized, maybe a little calmer, hopefully stretched and released this morning. Start to bring a little bit of movement to your fingers and your toes. Yes, hopefully we've got into any of those tight spots or those holding patterns that we all get into. We've stretched and opened that out this morning. So feel free to open up and out into a full body stretch. You might want to reach the arms back. You might want to reach into the right side of the body and then the left, having a little slide of the hips. Oh, lovely. And then when you're ready, very gently bringing your knees in towards your chest for one last little hug, comforting hug of your knees. Lovely. And then slowly rolling yourself onto one side. And then taking as much time as you need to come up to a comfortable seated position. And then again, let's end as we started with the hands to the heart, lifting up and out to the hips, lengthening up, breastbone meeting thumbs, allowing the chin to drop very gently down. And I'll leave you with these lovely words about the solstice written by Margaret Atwood. And she wrote, "This is the solstice, the still point of the sun, its cusp, and midnight, the year's threshold and unlocking, when the past lets go and becomes the future, the place of caught breath." Oh, beautiful. So namaste, happy Christmas, happy solstice, and thank you, an enormous thank you for coming along to yoga this year, this strange year. So thank you, round of applause to all of you. Let me come and unmute you all.